Northern Colorado. This is November 0 Echo Mike Papa. Greg, I'm at Fort Collins. I'll be the net control for this evening's NCARC Club Net. The purpose of this net is to provide a forum for announcements of amateur radio related events, a meeting time on the air to encourage social interaction between club members, and to provide a point of contact for club executive board members. This net may be interrupted at any time for emergencies or priority traffic. If you need to use the system for an emergency during the net, say break and give your call sign. We will acknowledge you and suspend the net until you advise that you are clear. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? All licensed amateur radio operators with 70 centimeter privileges are encouraged to check into this net. Club membership is encouraged but not required for participation in the net. This net will begin as a directed net and shift into an open net. There will be an opportunity for stations with equipment to sell to announce their items. Check-ins are requested for purposes of counting participation, and no checkouts are required for this net. Once all stations are checked in, Net Control will ask the club executive board if they have any announcements, and will then call for any announcements from other operators. Please be courteous once the formal part of the net is over, and allow a break for other stations to be a part of the conversation. When checking in, please give your call sign slowly using the ITU phonetic alphabet. Tonight we've had 15 early check-ins. I will start by taking check-ins from club board members. Club board members who have not checked in, please check in at this time. I will now take check-ins from general club members by call suffix, starting with Alpha through Mike. General members with a suffix as Alpha through Mike, come now.
Whiskey 0 Alpha Sierra Papa, mobile.
Evening, Greg and Nanette. Kilo 8 Golf Echo Echo, Jerry in Fort Collins.
Okay, I have Terry and Jerry. I'll go and open this up to all club members. All club members, any suffix, any call sign. If you have not checked in, come now.
November 0 Tango Quebec, Mike in Pierce.
And 0 TQ, first name please?
Tango Ed in Breathitt, no traffic.
November 0 Tango Quebec, Mike in Pierce.
Oh, okay. Mike is your first name, and your call is November 0 Tango Quebec?
That is correct.
Okay, got that sorted out. Ed, I stepped on you. Come again?
Kilo Golf 6 Uniform Delta Tango.
Got you. Anybody else to check in? Come now.
Flat India 7, Papa, Mike, Phil, Mobile, AI 7 PM.
Okay, Phil, I got you. Was there a doubling station with Phil? Okay, anybody at all wishing to check in? Board member, club member, non-member, anybody wishing to check in, come now. Any other board members to check in, come now. Okay, besides myself, we have one board member, Jim. He had no traffic. Andrew, Kilo Echo 0, Charlie Bravo Tango. You had a question. Go ahead. Andrew, if your question was, are you making the repeater? The answer is no, you are not. Not at all. I don't know if you can step outside for a minute, get to the north side of your building or something. You're just not making it.
Okay, I turned my power up. My question was whether the 750 repeater has been down, because I haven't heard any traffic on it, except for tonight for the last couple days.
Yes, I just got an email about that. As a matter of fact, during the net, it was down, and James has switched computers over remotely and reestablished that link. So if I understand you, it's working for you now, but it was down a couple of days, but it is now working. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's working now, and I think it's probably connected up to the 275 as well at this point.
Yeah, that is correct. So yeah, it was down, it's back up now.
Okay, I've been struggling with my antennas for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden everything stopped working, so it kind of drove me crazy for half a day or so. And then I got on Echolink and said, hey, well, I'm not getting the stuff over 750 that I should be. So anyway, thank you for answering my question. This is KE0CBT monitoring.
All right, Andrew, glad I could answer your question. I have one announcement myself. I kind of made it during early check-ins, but the WinLink node, for those of you that use WinLink, the WinLink node at Rattlesnake Ranch is back up. So it's been tested and should be working. Any other stations, any members have any members, non-members, anybody at all, have any other questions?
Here is N1 TV, November 1 Tango Victor, number 1 television. Name here is Ed, Easy Dock, QTH is Port St. Lucie, Florida. Just want to say hi to everybody on the net. This is my first time checking into this net. Good evening to everybody on the net. Over.
N1 TV, Ed, glad to have you in from Florida.
Yes, thank you. Glad to be here. I was looking around on the internet. By the way, I'm using Echolink. I guess you're aware. I'm checking in on Echolink. I was looking around on my cell phone on Craigslist, and I discovered there may be a possibility I could rent a room in Fort Collins in the summertime when the weather might be nice. I'm originally from Massachusetts. The weather in Massachusetts is similar to where you are. So I like it in Florida for the winter, but I also like it in the northern states for the summer. Back to you on One TV.
Yeah, we do have a fair number of snowbirds here, Ed, that spend the summers here and then they go off to Florida, Arizona, Georgia, other southern states for the winter. So you would not be alone, and I'm sure you'll be able to find someone that'll accommodate your needs there.
Roger. Yes, I was checking out on Craigslist. It looks like the possibility might not be too difficult to just rent a room somewhere. So thanks very much, 73 to everybody on the net. I'll just be listening and standing by. Back to you. This is N1 TV, November 1, Tango Victor, Ed at Port St. Lucie, Florida. By the way, Port St. Lucie is on the east coast of Florida, about halfway between Miami and Orlando. Back to net. Over.
All right, Ed, thanks for checking in. Any other stations with requests for volunteers for any upcoming events at this time? Any other stations with announcements?
KE0ZZT, I just have a quick question.
ZZT, go ahead.
In between a little bit of work and studying for the test and the downtime due to staying home, one of the things I was doing was building antennas just to kind of help me learn antenna theory a little bit more. And I know the ones I built can receive, but I've always wondered how they talk, so I'm curious on this particular one. This happens to be the favorite one I built. Just wanted to get a signal report on it.
Well, it's not a really necessarily good test going through a repeater because I'm hearing the repeater's output. You're talking into it. You're making the repeater just fine. A direct simplex test would be better because you're talking into a repeater that's sitting on a mountaintop. But given that, it's working.
Sure. Yeah, just considering the design was the main reason I was curious. It's a Moxon style antenna, but it's made of a pad and some adhesive copper tape. And it's clamped to the chair here at the dinner table, so the fact that it works at all is kind of fun to me.
Well, it is working. I don't know if you have an antenna analyzer or if you caught their virtual club meeting here a couple weeks ago where Jim, K-A-6-E-T-E, did a presentation on the Nano VNA. It's a network vector analyzer. It shows characteristics of a antenna or another load connected to a feed line. If you're going to be building antennas, which is something I enjoy doing also, you'll want some type of instrumentation to give you an idea of what it looks like as a load to your radio.
I do have a Nano VNA. If you recall during that video meeting, I'm the one that held up the little VNA in the white 3D printed case that I mentioned my son made for me. This little Moxon came in at just under 1.1 to 1 and right about 49 ohms impedance.
Okay, I do remember that case, and yeah, good, you're all set then, you're doing everything right. Anything else?
That is it, just happy it works. It's kind of a fun little project. KE0ZZT, back to the net.
Thank you, M0EMP. We've now reached the gear swap portion of the net. Are there any stations with equipment to sell, or stations looking for a piece of equipment?
LCK.
The other Mike from Windsor, go ahead.
Yeah, Greg, thanks for taking the net this evening. This is KE0LCK, the other Mike from Windsor. I did hear the original Mike from Windsor on tonight, so anyhow, I'm the other one. But what I have are three items that go together. The first is the radio, which is a Yaesu 817ND model. It does the HF, UHF, and VHF. And inside of it, it has a new 3200 milliamp hour WinCamp battery. And to the back end where the power plugs in, I've put in the Anderson power pole adapter unit. Coupled with that, if you don't like 5 watts, is a 45 watt power amplifier model MX-P50A. The final item, rounding out the group, is the tuner. It's a manual MFJ 971 tuner. The value of these items is $840, and I'm asking a mere $600. This is a good value. If you have any questions, let me know now, or if you look on the website for NCARC.net, it's under the for sale items. Any questions? Back to you, Greg. Thanks, sir.
All right, Mike, I know you've been trying to move those items for a few weeks now. One place I look when I'm looking to see what's for sale used, I check the Craigslist Fort Collins under the heading of ham radio. There's a separate heading for amateur radio, but most everything ends up listed under ham radio. I don't know if you've considered posting there, or you might just not want to deal with Craigslist. Besides our club, there's a couple other clubs in the area that have swap lists. Off the top of my head, Denver Radio Club, Colorado Repeater Association, and I think Longmont Amateur Radio Club has a swap list. You might post there as well if you want to get those things moved. M0EMP.
Yeah, Greg, I will consider that since it's taking a little bit longer than I thought, since people have been getting money. Anyhow, I will keep that in mind. This is KE0LCK. Back to you.
Yeah, you're only asking 0.5 stimulus checks for the whole thing. I mean, that should move quick. Okay, anybody have a special topic they'd like to discuss with the net?
WNBAN. I had one more want from the Traders Net before you pass on that topic.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ivan, go ahead.
W1VAN, looking for an open spot 3, which is a hotspot for digital radio. Number is good on QRZ, W1VAN. Thank you.
Okay, anybody have an open spot to sell that Ivan's looking for? Come now. Anyone else with equipment to buy or sell? Go ahead.
N5GRY.
N5GRY, go ahead.
This is neither buy nor sell, but I would like to get my brand new DMR radio up and running and have the Alinco. I'd like to get in on the net. Does anyone have code plugs or time to take out to help me install the plug for the Alinco DMR?
Ivan, W1VAN, would you be able to help him with that?
I'm sorry, I doubled with you. W1VAN, I can help him with that after the net.
Okay, if you guys hang out, well, we're almost done here, and then the two of you can talk about that after the net. Was there anything else to buy or sell? Any late check-ins, comments, questions, or other discussion before we close the net this evening? LCK. Go ahead, Mike. Yeah, after I got through my announcement, I switched over to do the packet to the WinLink, and it appears to be working. Okay, thanks for the check.
CBT.
CBT, go ahead.
I'm looking for a used VHF, UHF mobile radio.
If you look on Craigslist Fort Collins under ham radio, you'll see a Yaesu 7900. I believe it's in Broomfield. You might take a look at that.
Do you have any recollection of what the price was?
Negative, but it's Craigslist Fort Collins, ham radio, and you'll see the posting. Anyone have anyone hear of a VHF, UHF mobile to sell? Any late check-ins, comments, questions, or other discussion? Go ahead.
E0CS, late check-in. Fort Collins.
Okay, Ben, got you down. Anything for the net?
E0CS cleared.
All right. With that, I'm going to conclude It's NCARC Club Net. Net Control, I'd like to thank each station for their participation. Tonight we had 22 check-ins, plus me as Net Control. This net will occur again next Wednesday at the same time on this repeater. The repeater is now open for general use.